It's the Daily Comedy News with your host, Mark Pires. Join us for breaking headlines and all kinds of comedy shenanigans. Brought to you by The Beat Seat.
Happy Friday, beautiful souls. Welcome to the show that never ends, the longest running daily variety show on planet Earth, the MarkinsPires show. And we got a story for you today. Driving in my driveway and my neighbor's running down the street freaking out. He's like, "Did you feel that?" And I'm like, "Feel what?" I just got out of the car, I'm closing the gates. He's like, "My whole house just shook." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, my whole house, I was on the third floor, the entire house is shaking like this." I was like, "Well, I guess it could be an earthquake. I don't think we've had one in I don't even know when the last time we've had an earthquake in Connecticut." I was like, I said, "Maybe a gas main blew up or something?" He goes, "Well, they're working down the road, I see, but that's electrical. There's no gas work over here, so I didn't hear anything." Because I didn't hear any explosions. I was like, "You didn't hear anything like pop from underneath you while this was happening?" He goes, "No, the whole house was shaking." And I was like, "Well, check out the earthquake radar system. My friend Ron Tyler would be able to tell us exactly what's going on." And he goes, "I'll go back and just want to make sure, everything's okay. Let me go back, because we didn't know what he was talking about. We had just walked in." So then I go and check and I see, yes, we had an earthquake in New Jersey, very close to Connecticut. We're maybe, I would say 80 miles, 100 miles away from where this took place, but we felt it. My neighbor's whole house shook. Now, this brings up a more interesting question. We have the total eclipse coming up next week, and the Bible talks about this frequently, we'll see signs. I got the 1775 Bible sitting right here. If you guys have seen any of my content on the 13th month, or other people creating content on my original piece of content on the 13th month, I do have that Bible here, and I've asked a few people to let me know what should I be reading in this Bible right now that can closely relate to these events that we're seeing, because I'm happy to pull this thing out and read it. It's Old English, it's from 1775, it's the original copy. It was owned by a family. I have all of their information in the back, and it's really a very, very lovely book. I'm proud to keep it next to me every single time I broadcast, almost as additional strength for me to keep showing up here after 1,922 days in a row. But let's pull this story up. Let's see what's going on. I see Renee Woods in the house. Chris, how are you? Happy to have you guys here. We're going to see what we got in the news with this story. I did have the USGS or whatever it was up and I was looking at this, and yeah, it took place right in New Jersey. Let's go back to it here. Earthquake. I'm going to pull this up so you guys can see it. Come on. Where are we? USGS. Here we go. I'm opening this up so we can take a peek together. If you guys don't know how this show works, it's a live scroll the news comedy. Read news with you. We read it together because it's right over my shoulder here on X, on YouTube and Rumble. And from there, we just commentate, I guess, on whatever's going on, but in the most comedic of manners. So no matter how bad the story, no matter how disgusting a topic, I find comedy. Except the question is whether or not it's your comedy. Here we go, Zabrowski. This is our woohoo of the morning. I immediately feel better. When you got Matt Zabrowski there hitting you with a woohoo, everybody's happy. So here we go. We have our GIS map, or whatever it's called, the USGS map. We're going to take a look and see exactly what happened here on the East Coast United States of America, right here, Tewksbury, New Jersey. And you see how close it is to Connecticut. Let's get an idea. A 4.8 magnitude earthquake. Now, at what depth? Because that's the bigger question. Look at all of these. There's one in Saipan. There's one in California, two in California. Now, what I'm thinking may actually happen while we're sitting here is we may actually experience an earthquake live on my show, because it happened And there's always tremors after, so like whatever's going on is very odd to me because I don't ever see the East Coast getting hit with earthquakes. And now I know that there's tectonic shifts everywhere and the plates are all over, but it seems like it's usually like California, China, you got random parts of the world that are very, always active. And there's never anything here on the East Coast that I remember. Now I'd love to have Ron Tyler on with me so he can share exactly what this means, if it means anything. Now, someone left a very interesting comment on TikTok when I dropped the piece on this originally. And the comment was, I think we're going to see a lot more earthquakes, natural disasters right as we lead up to this total eclipse. And then it gets me really concerned about all these conspiracy theories I keep hearing online about the total eclipse and about these world governments preparing for it, different states that have National Guard on ready and bio warfare scientists on the ground, and it's like, what's happening here, So there's a big picture thing going on. There always is. We're the last ones to know about it. But it seems like many people have thoughts and theories about what may take place in about 5 days, 4 days, 3 days. It's in 3 days, guys. It's the 8th, right? Gosh almighty. Wait a second. Yeah, it's on the 8th, guys. So we're talking about 3 days away. Earthquake here in Connecticut, in New Jersey. Did you feel it? Back ass in the house. Okay, let's see. Starting with the August 21st, 2017 eclipse, there is exactly 1,211 days between the next 6 eclipses. 7 in a row. All 7 are total solar. All 7 fall on a Monday, and all 7 are exactly 1,211 days apart. That is crazy information, back ass. Thank you so much for sharing that. Angel in the house. So good to see you, my friend. It really has been a bit. We love having you over here. Angel said, yes, I did. I'm in the Boogie Down Bronx. And yes, I felt it. The feeling is exactly like the vibrations of the underground train as it's pulling up in the station, literally. Wow, Angel, that's an amazing way to explain exactly what you felt during that. Renee, so happy to have you out here. I was in my car. Now, I'm driving a 3,600-pound stupid electric car by Ford. Piece of shit, all right? Ford Mach-E, yay, let's go electric. You don't even have the grid to handle all the cars. Okay, I got a stupid charger here on the house that I had to put in, right? And now I'm like charging the stupid thing, $1,000 a month. I'm over $1,000 a month. And I got solar, paying them $170 for solar. It's like $1,200 a month for electricity. And then you have to stand here and be like, inflation's okay, guys. I don't mind paying $37 on eggs. Who the freaking hell wants to spend $9 on eggs? Right? I'll go and get chickens. I'm going to put them in the backyard every day. Give me a fucking chicken egg. I want it. I'm breaking it open. Plus, they're better. They're fresh. You don't have that stupid chemical crap, the Fockerdroxgate. You know that stuff they put on? Monsanto. You guys know. You're fans. You guys all have the T-shirts. You're walking around like, I'm a Monsanto guy. We get it. You got on the stock, like, you just can't wait for the next, what do they call that when you get... I wish I was an investor in the stock market because I know every year they give out the dividend. That's what it is. When you're here and you didn't remember because you haven't invested in stocks, But they give the dividend to you for being a fan with your T-shirt. You get an extra point. Anyway, guys, so the USGS, we had a freaking earthquake. Lots going on here in Connecticut today. Guys, no, just kidding. No earthquake. No, I didn't feel it. I was in the car. The stupid electric cars, I was telling you, 3,600 pounds. I'm coming around the corner. I'm pulling a G because, I'm freaking ripping that. I'm trying to destroy the suspension in the process. Oh, electric. Rip that freaking thing. You know what I mean? Woo, woo, woo. I'm out of here, Cutting in and out of streets, pulling into the driveway, doing this, one of these. As they drive by, or the best move is you're quick enough to go around the corner. You jump out and you're going to stand there as the cop goes by. What the hell happened? Who are you chasing? Oh, you went that way. He's over there, That's how you get away from a cop on a police chase, if you guys haven't done that before. Catherine Hepburn in the house. Monsanto, BlackRock, they're all involved. Actually, here's the other thing I was kind of thinking. This is way out there conspiracy, but imagine if this is one of their new technologies that's able to produce an earthquake, which we know they have. We also know that there are deep underground tunnels all over this country. And some people say when we have these events that take place, there's like warfare going on underground. And like there's some sort of freaking galactic event happening under us. And mean, you could go and create the most ridiculous sci-fi movies from the world we're living in today. You realize that, right? You don't even need to go see a movie. Just walk out your fucking door, man. And you're like, oh, great. I got an earthquake over here. I don't know who's calling me. I got an earthquake over here. I got a guy over there, he's a zebra. He woke up today, he feels like he's a zebra. And we're like, I'm painting him. I'm like, look, you can't be a zebra unless you got your fucking stripes. I'm going over there with paint, middle of the night. All the way. It's looking like the zebra from Stripes Gum, you know, walking down the street. We're like, finally, I see it. I finally see it, you know? Because I gotta lie, my eyes have to lie. When I see whatever's going on, I have to then pretend, no, I don't see a ridiculously huge gorilla. That's a gorilla who feels like a young lady, you know? A pretty gorilla, some people might say. I'm sorry? Yeah, I know blind people would say it. But maybe there's some guy who'd be like, look at that gorilla. That's a pretty gorilla, you know? I don't know, maybe. When you're living in 2024 and you can't even make comedy about stupid stuff, you know, like someone waking up and be like, you know what? I feel like I'm a freaking giraffe today. I got a long neck. I'm long necking it, you know? So I'm thinking, why? I feel like being a giraffe, you know? And you can't tell me I'm not. Because my feelings are more important than reality. Welcome to 2024. Some people call it the Twilight Zone. I think it's the Truman Show. I think that this is a fucking show. Like, I'm not even joking. There are people on a different planet watching this laughing. They are laughing. They're like, look at these morons. Hey, Jimmy, look, today's episode, come here. What? No, you gotta see this one. This one thinks she's a zebra. Yeah, no, they're gonna paint her in this scene. Come and check it out. You gotta watch this. Get the popcorn. Organic, don't use the GMO crap, you know. We know that here. They're eating it. They're eating it up, you know. That was episode 27, remember, where people were eating up the Monsanto? Yeah, no, I forgot you sent that one back to Spaceflix. That's the, you know, outer space version of Netflix. Anyway. I'm sorry? Yeah, I don't freaking give a crap, okay? Because if they want to be a zebra and you want to go and do whatever you're doing, like, how could you find anything more interesting than someone pretending to be a zebra? Oh, no, I'm sorry, feeling like they are a zebra now. Remember the insanity of this world that we watch on a daily, right? Tell me that that's not what's going on here. Pizza-loving trash panda. I put on my tinfoil hat and consider the theory that someone could be weaponizing tectonic plates. You know what, pizza-loving? You never freaking know in 2024. You know what I mean? People could be zebras, so they could very easily, you know, just use the tectonic plate / weaponizing thing that you're coming up with there in the moment. Dr. Evil's in charge, pizza-loving. Pizza-loving. I'm going to take the world apart with a new weaponized tectonic plate system. Call number two. Number two, can you get Bill Gates on the line? Dr. Evil. Bill Gates is on the evil monitor. Bill, it's Dr. Evil. Oh, hi, Dr. Evil. Yeah, no, I'm just here in Seattle trying to destroy the world. Oh, we know you're doing that. Yes, I know. Bill, I've got my monitor on you, the evil monitor. I don't know if you know there's a camera in your room. Dr. Evil. I'm Dr. Frickin' Evil. Oh, I understand that, Dr. Evil. Look, we're working to the plan. It's all going to fruition, and we're going to take over the world. Dead on Bill Gates, right? Guys, I'm a scientist. You're freaking not a scientist. You're a college dropout that was doing this during the interview where you creep people out, right? And you're doing this. They're asking you questions. Mr. Gates, can you tell us when you were doing the monopolizing as a Microsoft? What exactly were you thinking? I'm sorry, what was that? What were you? I don't know what I was thinking. That's freaking Bill Gates. And then they like hired people to help him not act like a spaz and sound like a ped. You know, and then he just wound up being one and being like, I'm just going to donate all my money to companies that end up investing in the things that I want to make money on. So I look like a really good guy, but I'm still a creep. Yes, you are. And Melinda knows everything. The telltale that Melinda's coming out with. You guys know, right? Melinda French Gates. She's at it. Melinda, don't make me call Dr. Evil. What's that, Bill? Oh, you want me to take out Melinda with my sharks with freaking laser beams? What are we talking about over here? 4.6, 4.8 on an earthquake here. That's how we got to where we are right now. You gotta love the comedy news, you know? At least I do. I love being a goofball and bringing my impressions out and just, oh, here we go. Guys, it's the first story here on Yahoo. You know, that's the people's choice for news. I only go to Yahoo because it's terrible. Like, everything there is so slighted, so we get to make a lot of comedy out of it, you know? Earthquake rattles northeastern U.S., shakes felt to New York City, New Jersey, and Connecticut. I'm there in Connecticut. You know, like when they pinpoint you specific, let's see if they talked about me. An earthquake rattled the northeastern United States on Friday morning while MarkinsPires was broadcasting live. Right, it's there, guys, Yahoo. I got to give them a little credit. They're recognizing the show after 1,922 days in a row. You got to give them respect for that. I mean, I've been here. I've been doing it. Nobody knew, but Yahoo. And they still kept it from you. But today they're telling you about it. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, the 4.8 magnitude quake was centered 7 kilometers north of White House Station, New Jersey, if you guys know where that is. It's about 50 miles west of New York City at a depth of 4.7 kilometers. Guys, at a 10-kilometer range. So 4.7 kilometers. Is that roughly like 3.5 miles, something like that? Like, here's the other thing. Imagine, I assume the closer it is to the surface, the more ridiculous it feels on the surface. I'm not sure. You guys have to let me know. There were no initial reports of damage or injuries, except the diaper or the underwear of my neighbor who freaked out. You know, you have to figure when he saw and he heard. And the house started shaking. Like, I am thinking, we're getting a tremor. Like, some people call me Mark Stradamus, and that's for a reason. If you go back and you just push play on any show over the last 1,922 days, you'll be like, that came true. Like, I know he was making comedy, and I know he was just laughing through things and doing Dr. Evil and Bill Gates and stuff, but that actually came like 100% true. Oh, that's why I don't know who he is until today. Anyway, welcome to the longest running daily variety show. There was a earthquake today, New Jersey, 4.8. I'm here in Connecticut. Neighbor crapped his pants. No, I don't think so. He was just like, did you guys feel that? And I was like, what? I mean, I'm thinking about this. 3,600-pound piece of crap car, Ford. You know, I'm buying American crap. It's still made in freaking the United or Democratic Republic of Congo with all of the materials that they had child labor. Cobalt, sending it across to Elon Musk and here to Ford. They're divvying it up. You know, that kid goes back there a penny a day. He still can't eat. You know, they beat the hell out of him too while he's in the middle of trying to find cobalt. They're like, you're not good at finding cobalt. Bang, bang, bang. You didn't bring me enough cobalt at the end of the day to be fed rice. It's a sad time to be in the Democratic Republic of Congo. But we're getting our electric cars, guys, right? Oh, goodness. You know, the damage to the environment, look it up. It's worse from an electric car than it is from a gas combustion vehicle. Go and check it out, the data. It's almost like the data that just came out after a 15-year study about how some people just feel like they're things like zebras, and then they're kind of like work through it. They're like, you know, I'm not a freaking zebra. I don't even really have stripes. You know, that guy Mark painted stripes on me that time because he was pissed because I was out there and people were like, you're not a fucking zebra, dude, you're a human. And I'm like, I'm a zebra. And he painted stripes on me, but they're not real stripes, and then worked through it, wiped them off, you know, took out the lacquer thinner because you have to get it off. I used oil-based paint on her. You know, you can't go around calling yourself a zebra and then not be a zebra, you know. I didn't tell you about the time I had a surgery to install a tail on said zebra. You want to play the part, you know. We raised money for that one. That was one of the biggest fundraisers that we ever completed. Everybody was on board. Oh, you want to put a tail on a stupid zebra? Let's do it. You know, $100 million, that one donation from George Soros. That was a good one. Mark, it's George Soros. I got $100 million. Oh my gosh, George Soros, what the friggin' hell did you eat? What happened to your voice? Oh, you've been hanging out with the devil again, right? He burned your vocal cords and that's how you sound?
I'm also Senator Palpatine.
Yeah, we know. We saw you as Senator Palpatine in episode 16 of the Donald Trump show, when Dr. Evil takes over the world with Bill Gates. And Dr. Weasel Fauci, right? You wear your masks. Put on your 7,467 masks. Because there's a solar storm. You got a total eclipse. You don't got your mask. I told you to wear a double-decker. You go down to the store. You get an N95. Right? You get a second N95. And you just keep doing that till you got 474 masks. Then you can be outside for the total eclipse. Weasel Fauci. Oh, goodness, right? Second Manhattan earthquake. See, I don't remember an earthquake. Who said that? When was where's the first one? Now I gotta look. Like, when is the last time New York City had an earthquake? Let's see. I know we had one today, you dummies. I'm talking about before today, clearly.
Oh, we just had one 37 minutes ago, Mark.
Motherfuckers! I'm talking about like previously! List of New York City, list of previous New York City earthquakes. I want to see.
Oh, well, we just had one 37 minutes ago, Mark.
Oh, thank you for letting me know what we're here talking about again. Oh, goodness. All right, here we go. Wikipedia, where we get information, right? Let's see. The New York quakes in 23 and 24 were shallow quakes. I don't remember quakes. All right, this is through 2006. I want to get through 2024. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm here and all of a sudden we had an earthquake today, and that's the last I remember. I don't remember ever having one. I mean, I've been here in the East Coast my whole life. I don't remember ever having an earthquake here. Let's see. Ramapo, that's New Jersey, guys. Ramapo Fault. I didn't know that there was a Ramapo Fault. There's also one in Hopewell, Flemington. So this is Jersey here, and then we're up. So I want to look at all the fault lines. Let's see. East Coast fault lines. Guys, we're getting into it today. If you guys want to see this, you could just head over to YouTube, X, or Rumble, and you could actually see these entire news stories. You can see what I'm searching, and we scroll the news together. There's typically no politics, and I just like to make funny, okay, if I can. I'm trying my best to do that here for you. How do we see all of the fault lines? Is there any fault lines in the East Coast? There are, obviously, but where are the fault lines? Here we go. This is from the USGS again. We're going back. They're the information. You don't go to Wikipedia when you got the United States Geological Survey. Is that what it's called? Geological something? Source? I don't know. Anything here? State Geological Surveys or state geologists. We're just looking for seismicity of the Earth maps and information by state and territory. I don't know. Crawley's Ridge faults. Let's see. Nothing. You have to think other people are wanting to see where the fault lines are in the East Coast. And they're like, we're the USGS. We have the info, but we don't want to share it with you. We can't let you know like where the fault lines are. That would be like that would be very counterproductive for our agenda of creating as much fear as possible, you know. Uh-oh, San Andreas-like fault found in eastern U.S. This is a 2010 story. You know, they always like to prep us years in advance before something major happens. Here it is. The fault is invisible from the surface, but magnetic surveys from the air see it clearly, represented in a white line. Okay, so let me just see where that is compared to where I am. That's Florida. This goes all the way up to, yeah, this is Connecticut right here, guys. This comes all the way up here along the top of New York and under here to New Jersey. Wow. So the fault line is actually this whole path. It's not just one line, it's two lines that run straight down the eastern seaboard. Wow. One of them's called CPS, other one's BZ, I guess. I'm not really sure. New York, whatever this says up there, but Amish anomaly. There's an Amish anomaly as well. It's because of all the praying. I guess. I don't really know. But this is a little freaky, guys, because it's cutting Connecticut off and Jersey right in this line here. You know, it's like, you have to imagine, like, with all of this here, you could see how with the proper, when you talk about something that's like a 9.5 or a 10 or something like that, which is like the worst case scenario, could something like this just slice off and it's no longer attached to the United States? It just like floats into the ocean. Now, I don't think it would float away, but you'd see this chasm between these two land masses and water in between, and you'd have to install bridges to connect. But you could almost see how that would be a thing. Just like the largest island ever for the United States, and it encompasses freaking Florida, and you got New Orleans and all kinds of other, South Carolina, North Carolina, going up the line all the way to New Jersey, essentially, which would be an island. Now, I don't think we have another day after tomorrow. I can't say that. A day after tomorrow event is coming, you know, like the Jake Gyllenhaal movie, where it's so cold, where everything freezes on impact with the temperature. I was watching a piece of content where the scientists were cutting open animals from 20 million years ago, 10,000 years ago, whatever it was, that had thawed in Antarctica. And when they cut them open, they still had food in their throats and undigested food in their bellies. And so basically they were like, that's flash freezing. And so flash freezing would be like what happens in Day After Tomorrow, when like, we gotta go, it's coming, and you're like, and that thing's coming after them. They're running, they're trying to close the door before that flash freezing event hits them. And that is like probably one of the scariest things in the world to imagine happening. You just like, and you're like, oh, you're trying to close the door, and you have that one that has like the crap, you know, connection where you got the space, you could hear air when it's on there's no wind night, you just hear like, and now you just got you flash froze, dude. You should have done a little bit better of a job in the carpentry, you know? Calling a guy, you get the weather stripping connected properly or something, you know? You couldn't get the stupid one from Home Depot where one side has like a little bit of a padding, the other side has a padding, slides under the door, under said door, and now you're protected from a flash freezing event. Sometimes we like to hit you with the science here on MarkinsPires. Anyway, guys, both steep and deep, I don't give a okay? Like, okay, whatever. San Andreas line, we know it could peel off the side of our entire East Coast. I'm there. I'm a little bit higher. I think I won't be on the island. I'll be on the other side. I'll be helping build the bridges to the island, because real estate is going to probably be like weird at that point. They need realtors. They don't know how to get out there. I'm getting my drone out. I'm building a drone big enough to fly me. Look here, right here. What is this? New electric SUVs come with tiny price tags, because that is not an SUV. I mean, maybe, I guess you could call it a sports utility vehicle, because like, I don't know what you're doing with that. It looks like you're starring in the next Tron film. Like, that's the worst looking little vehicle. Imagine getting hit with like someone riding a bicycle while you're riding that thing. You're done. The bike guy's just like rolling off. He's like, what happened to that stupid piece of tin? You know, guys, you have to head over to YouTube to see that one. Anyway, anything else here in the news? This is not going to be a long news show because I'm building beat seats right now. I will be live later tonight for part 2, which is cover song night. It'll be around 10 o'clock Eastern Standard. But we have a premiere in 43 minutes, guys. 53 minutes. Can I give that to you? It is just an outrageous, silly comedy like all the other ones. But this one is the third portion of the P. Diddy saga. And you guys, if you saw the first 2 where I annihilated the hell out of that guy, you're going to want to see the third. Just letting you know. This is it right here. You're watching along with me. I was thinking about moving this one forward right here. Beer Can Island was so funny. Like, I almost want to move that forward, but I have it set for tomorrow, I think at 10 a.m. Or what time did I have it? Let's see. 2 p.m. tomorrow. And I've got another set of news from yesterday I'm going to be editing, so I may have more stuff for tomorrow on Sunday. Okay, so we have, just so you know, at, I think it's 12. No, it's at 1 o'clock. Because we're past 12 now. We've got, at 1 o'clock, Did He Do It? Part 3, I should have put there, but I didn't. Here we go. Nearly John in the house. How are you, my friend? Being John, my brother Evan in the house. Evan, of course, ask away, buddy. How will this impact the housing market of Connecticut? Oh, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Let's see. Let me get this open again. So the housing market of Connecticut. This is an interesting question because I'm actually thinking of bigger. Like, if something crazy happens in 3 days, and there's a shutdown or some sort of geologic storm. I don't even know what they're going to call it. They're going to call it something else if something happens, and they'll say that it was, us. We did it. It's like a man-made issue because of our overuse of the planet and lack of regard for the planet, which is a bunch of horse crap. But the real estate market itself, I would say, is going to be a struggle going forward because we have people now that think that the whole country was on some sort of standard. Nobody's on a standard. I'm in Connecticut. When I sell a piece of real estate, it's always been a conversation with the seller. My service fee is X because I go in there and I'm there for showings. I shoot photos of your house. I shoot drone photography throughout the listing. I'm there for live open houses on Facebook and TikTok and YouTube. No one else does that stuff. So my fee is my fee. But then what do we want to give the buyer? It's always been that. What do you want to give the buyer's agent? Now in this area, you typically want to pay the buyer's agent out like everybody else just because these people are, and not that there's this going on, but there's a few agents who will say no commission or they're like $100 they'll put down. And agents in general, we have families. We're not doing this for free. And so if you see someone out there who's cutting commissions or taking most of the commission themselves, kind of give you like a really skeevy feeling. I never really like that. But you show your properties to everybody. Now, this is the way it's always worked for me. If I show a property that's paying out $100 or paying out 1% or something that's not what we're used to seeing, when I put my offer in with my buyer, I put that in and I put buyer commission 2.5% or 2%, whatever it winds up being. It's usually 2.5%. And I'll put that in there in the offer and I submit it. Now, if the seller wants to sell the house to my buyer, they have to pay my commission as well. Because if my buyer, with this new ruling that just came out with the ridiculous ruling about how you have to, basically buyer's agents are on their own. It's like a Wild West now. And the buyer's agents are going to have to seek out the listing agents to find out, is your client selling with a commission or do I have to go to my buyer and ask them to pay my commission? Now, say you're a buyer and you got $100,000 to put down on a house so you can go out and buy a $500,000 house, something like that, okay? And so you got 100 grand and you're ready to put it down on the house that's 500 grand. You go see a seller and you say to that seller, hey, I want to buy your house for 500 grand. And that seller says, okay, yeah, but I'm not paying a commission to your buyer's agent. You have to pay that. Now you got to take out of your 100 grand that you had for a down payment to get that $500,000 loan. You have to take out of that in order to pay a buyer's agent for the work he did in order to get you that property, get you that transaction, negotiate it for you, and get you a good deal, which again, I'm just using rough numbers. Nobody, So you're doing this. That agent needs to be paid. Now you have to deduct from what you had for your down payment. Now, if you go see the bank, there's a chance the bank says, you know what, we're not going to give you the same loan. You don't have enough down payment. Or now your rates are higher each month because you didn't have enough down payment. You have to pay PMI, which is a personal mortgage insurance. And so you start adding in these little variables that they're not talking about, and this hurts real estate. When I'm a seller, and any seller is like this, they want the most for their property. They want to be able to put their chest out and say, I sold my house for, or my house is on the market for, and I sold it for. When you say I put it on for 500 and I had to sell it for 460 because that buyer had to pay their agent. And now they weren't able to get 500 anymore, so now I sold it for 460. You take less. You think as a seller you're making out great because you're cutting the commission of the buyer's agent. Ooh, look at me, I saved, let's say that's 10 grand, guys. Save 10 grand, I'm screwing out the buyer's agent, right? However, 12.5 if it's 2.5%. However, you go and you take out of the buyer's pocket, now you're getting $60,000 less because of the mortgage differential. You sold your house, yes, but you couldn't get the money you wanted. So what's the benefit of you saving on the commission up front? It's like I always tell people this, because I've had a lot of people ask me to cut my commission when I go in and I work for them. Oh, well, will you do it for less? Jim says he'll do it for less. I said, the reason Jim says he'll do it for less is because he doesn't value your property or his own time. Let me tell you what's going to happen if Jim gets an offer or if I get an offer. If I get an offer, I'm going back at him. That's not good enough. This is a beautiful property for X, Y, and Z. And my clients are not willing to accept X. Or Jim who said, yeah, I'll cut my commission to take this listing. He's going to get that offer. He's going to say, look, this is the best you're going to get. There's nothing else. The market sucks. This is a great offer. Take it. Let's move forward. Take this offer and run. It's two different people. It's the guy who cares about your money and the person who cares about just getting more inventory, taking less because they're just out there just cutting in order to get more inventory. And there's lots of guys like that. I had one client who hired me over the person they bought the house with because they said the first thing that agent did when they walked in and says, I could do it for 4%. And they're like, we didn't even bring that up yet. We were going to. We were going to ask them about commission. We were going to say, hey, you know what, Jim, what is your commission? Instead, the first thing he said was, I could do it for 4%. And you know what? Just so you know, this is one of the top 3 agents in the town that I work in. And he went in there and said that. And I went and I took the freaking listing from him because I went in there and I stand for my value. When they asked me the same question, I said, I don't cut my commission because I'm not going to cut your value when someone comes in and tries to offer you less. I'm going to fight for your value. And so who do you want, a fighter? Or do you want a guy who says, yeah, I'll take less for myself because clearly I don't even value myself. I said, I'm standing here in front of you telling them, this is what I charge. This is my service fee. And you're earning it. I'm earning it. You're earning the best agent by hiring me. It doesn't cost you any more, by the way. You want to do it for less with the next guy? What do you get out of that? Let's just think about this for a second. You don't pay anything until this place sells. This is the way I always talk about it with people. You don't pay a penny until it sells. So why are you going to offer to give someone 2% or 1.5% of your eventual total when they may not do the job properly for you? When you'd rather have a guy you're going to pay full value to. However, you're not going to say yes until his delta's covered. So I'm like, don't worry about this. I'll cover my commission. When we get to it and we get to negotiating, my favorite thing is when people tell me, I'm good, let's accept the deal. And I go back and get another 5 for him. I go back and get another 10 for him. They're ready to accept. They're ready for me to close that deal out for them. And instead I go back and I say, guys, we've got to do a little better for these people. Now we haven't had to do that in a long time. This market's been pretty solid for people who are selling homes. You sell your house, you're getting asked, you're getting over asked, but it's going to shift. I started a show here on YouTube called Get to Know America. The concept was pretty simple. I go into a new town each week. I meet some people there. I walk around, go to like the fairs and ask people what they love about the town. Then I go to the first selectman, have a conversation with them. What do you love about this town? And then from there, I go to the Historic Society and get the 300 to 400 years of history under our feet. It's the best show I ever created. I did 6 episodes of it. Did Wilton, Connecticut, did Fairfield, I did New Canaan, I did Greenwich, and I did I say Ridgefield? I did Ridgefield and Fairfield. I mean, I basically covered all the areas that I work in mostly. And I started Norwalk. I didn't get to finish it. I got the Maritime Center up. It's on my YouTube channel. And these are all just little ways to explain to people what makes Connecticut special. Because in my mind, I was like, this is a false market. When people are, oh, look how great the real estate market is. Like, it's a false market, guys. I've been doing this for 15 years. Before the Cove market, it was so hard to sell real estate for value. Nobody saw the value in Connecticut anymore. Oh, it's too far from New York City. I don't like the train. All kinds of weird excuses. Then you get like a health scare for your family, which was perpetuated by nothing but fear. And now you're on your way out of the cities because you're hearing how people are going into the elevator to go, and they're coming back with the Cove. And people are putting it through the air systems, and they don't have the right filters in there, and all of a sudden everyone's getting Cove. And they're like, well, I'm moving to Connecticut. And all of a sudden Connecticut becomes a hot spot, but it's not because it's a hot spot again. It's always been a great spot, but people have been lazy and they weren't willing to leave. But then when people said, hey, you can remote, go do it. You can work wherever the friggin' hell you want. Yeah, I'm going up to Baltimore, or down to Baltimore. I'm going up to I don't know. I'm going to Buffalo. I'm going to spend the next year in Buffalo. I'll work remotely. And they could go wherever they want. A lot of people decide to go an hour away into Connecticut. Now, when does that end? It's already starting to. I mean, there's no inventory. So people that are already looking in this direction have been fighting for property for so long, they're probably now opening up their sites on other locations because that's what mostly happens. I'd have people who would start, hey, I want to buy in Westport, Connecticut. And then after looking at everything in Westport, they're like, well, geez, there's nothing here, or it's overpriced. What does Reading have? What does Easton have? What does Weston have? What does Ridgefield have? What does New Canaan have? What does Greenwich have? What does Darien have? and you start showing everything because people really don't care about the town anymore. They just want to freaking get a house. You can't get a house now. And then you take the other variable, which people don't necessarily want to talk about, but we're going to here. We talk about everything here that's uncomfortable. So you've got this market that's completely out of control because there's no inventory. Supply and demand is always going to be the factor in all markets. No supply, high demand, so values are high. But then introduce the fact that we used to have 2.5% to 3% mortgage rates. They're up to 7%, going up to 8%.
Thank you, Joe. You're doing great.
This is anybody out there that's like, I like the way things are going right now. You got to punch yourself in the face. Wake up, man. 8% mortgage rates. Eggs are $7, $8. It's the most ridiculous time in our history. Our money's valueless because they keep printing it and giving it away to Ukraine. Oh, and I get it, guys. Ukraine has a fight, but there are people in Europe that can handle that fight in NATO. We're not a part of it. We're on the other side. All right, man, we have our own country to worry about. We have an army coming through the southern border, and no one gives a crap. They care more about calling them undocumented instead of illegal. They're fucking illegal. You come through the door, and we know who you are, then you come in the correct way. You go through the process. You can't come here, so we're surprised when you go and you bomb some freaking village or some little small town in the middle of the country. And the thing is, guys, we've gotten complacent. Nobody remembers how they felt after 9/11. They're all like,
Whatever, let him in, let him in.
you don't remember how pissed you were when someone took down your buildings? You were very concerned about getting on a plane, very concerned about people who were maybe walking around with a different intent than just enjoying their lives. At that point, now you don't give a crap. You're like, let them in, guys. It's a civil, it's part of being a human is to open up your hearts. Is it? Leave your doors unlocked, let them in your house then. This hypocrisy of, you know what, guys, a border is xenophobic, but my fence and my wall around my property is not. Because I'm allowed to do it, Like, if you feel that way, then don't put a fence or a wall around your property, multimillionaires and ridiculous billionaires. Leave it open so people can pop in and grab a sandwich. Made a Swiss cheese sandwich, just happened to walk into your house because you're cool, right? Like, we're all welcome. Well, your house is my house. You guys saw that guy, the guy who's doing he gets into houses and he'll sit there and squat until it becomes his place. He's from Venezuela. We got 500,000 followers on TikTok. Yeah. And I'm like, I question who the hell's following this guy. Like, if I see him on TikTok, I'm running. I don't want to see some guy who's gaming our system and telling other people to come here illegally. Oh, come here undocumentedly. It's so stupid. We make up words to try to seem like it's not as bad as it really is. And let's fly in 30,000 a month. That's a great idea, guys. Why don't we do that? Let's fly them in so it's easier for them to get in here illegally. So we could document them, and put them on the rolls for the thing that's happening in November. It's like the stuff that goes on is so disgusting and no one wants to call it out for what it really is. They're like, no, it's not that. We really do care about others, and it's like you care about power, and destroying this country to remain in power is the most disgusting and evil thing I could think of, and that's exactly what we have going on right here. Your people for the last 4 years did nothing but destroy this country. Now they're pretending, oh yeah, the guy who's going to come back in is a danger to our democracy. You're the danger to our democracy. You are literally instituting a new type of, it's not new, this is the oldest. This is socialism on its way towards Fidel Castro campaigned on socialism. He campaigned to be a socialist. Guys, I'm going to bring socialism to Cuba. Everybody's like, guys, good-looking guy, well-spoken, rolls in. He's going to be bring socialism to Cuba. It's great. The moment he became president, that dude murdered everybody in charge, brought in his own army, communism. We're basically there. Yeah, Joe Biden nightmare put up on the American people. Tell me about it. Evan, thank you so much. And I'm sorry, I'm rolling off into something random now, but I do have to say that we're dealing with very, very uncertain times. And the reason is they need the decision to go their way, obviously, because I truly believe there is accountability coming. I mean, the stuff that was done to us over the last 4 years, the forcing, the mandating, telling people to take something that didn't work when they know it didn't work, it was making people sick. And I don't care what you say, It's exactly what happened. And now when you see people my age, younger, dropping dead left and right, and no one wants to talk about it, they'll want to say, well, it's always been that way. No, it never has. It's never been that way. There's always been a few. There's always been a handful. You've always heard about a few random people that, wow, that's so tragic. I can't believe he was on the court. Len Bias, like what happened? That stuff happens, yeah, very, very rare. You know, but not since Dr. Weasel Frauci approved. That is when we all ran into the danger we're in today, is where you believed what you were being told by a guy who was making it up in real time. Well, I think I'm 6 feet. Let's do 6. You stand there. I'm over here with my masks. Sometimes. I usually don't wear them until the camera's on. Weasel fraud. You know? And when you're dealing with them, with weasel fraud. Oh, Catherine hit me with 1.609K equals 1 mile. So we were basically about 3 miles out then, roughly. 2.7 miles on that earthquake. So guys, goofy we can be, of course, but also we're just trying to keep things honest here, you know? And that's all I can offer you is a real moment taking place here on a daily basis. There is no script. This is just whatever's happening and how I feel about it. You know, and I hope you guys come back for the music tonight, because that's the same thing. There is no music until whatever I'm feeling like comes out of the guitar and my voice, and the beat seat, which I invented. It's the only drum in the world for guitar players. I have the patent on it. You can pick one up at beatseat.rocks. Still, I think this camera setup is really weird when looks like I'm like, you know, but I'm not. I'm just in my chair over here, in my throne. I put it out to everybody who's into the Bible readings I've done. The 1775 Bible is sitting right behind me. If you have any verses you think would be appropriate and connect to what's happening now with all the different world events, with the total eclipse, I'd love to read the section about Nineveh and Jerusalem and the connection of the X that's going across the United States with this total eclipse. So if there's any verses you can help me pinpoint to, leave me a comment afterwards on the YouTube channel and let me know. And then that's basically it. We're looking good. Let me scroll out. Remember, guys, in about 35 minutes, we have the P. Diddy clip, which I think is pretty funny stuff. But we have another one at 5. $6 million gold toilet stolen. Another crime to pin on Donald Trump. That's a funny comedy news story. I'll give you the link to that one as well, just so you have it. It should push right to you after you watch the clip at 1. It should just bring you right to the Donald Trump stealing a gold toilet. Yes, Evan, I absolutely will. I explain it pretty often, but I'll definitely go into it together for you. If you guys pop in later on, we'll get into it. Sig Sauer, my brother. Good to see you, pal. And Modoc Roughstock, the genius behind my new woodworking channel, the name of it. It's called Mark as Wood. So you can go and subscribe to that on YouTube as well. And yeah, guys, 1 o'clock, 5 o'clock premieres, comedy news. I got more coming at you. I'm working on 3 songs. We drop like crazy here, so make sure you subscribe on YouTube, on X, on Rumble. I will see you later. Let me make sure I say goodbye to you, so don't go anywhere yet. I'm opening up the screen here to get there. Total eclipse. We still have to discuss a little bit more in depth the conspiracies that are out there of what could be happening and could be taking place in the next 3 days. But like I said, the fact that we had this earthquake take place right here in Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, leads me to believe that there's something bigger and maybe something really happening besides just a total eclipse like they're saying. I mean, they're getting all these different professional, groups together all over the country, like there's something else going on here. So, here we go. Can I get to it? Where are we, Joanne? She's wheezing again, guys. She's wheezing again. All right, so who's with us? Chris Donaldson, who's my brother, my sister. I think Chris, am I right, Chris? You're my sister, right? Evan Fitz. I see you got a guitar there, Ed. We definitely have to chat. I gotta get you on a beat seat. There's nothing better than a beat seat. The music that is being, this song is created with the beat seat. You got to go away. everything's done here live in the moment with my loop station with the beat seat, and it sounds like a full drum kit, but you kick it, and while you play your guitar, it's really just so much fun. It really is so much fun. I can't tell you guys how much creativity takes place because of this drum. I'm going to build 4 more right now. I actually have an event this weekend I'll be doing on Sunday. I don't know if I'll be able to film it. I was hoping I could, but I'm not sure. Where it's basically, I'm going to a facility where they have all these families coming with their special needs kids. And they bring in all the new tools that are out there to help people with a sensory connection issue. And I spoke to one of the directors there, and they're like, this sounds like something we really need. But you bring it down and see how people respond. So I'm really hoping that I have a chance to get some, it's not going to be medical, it's not going to be, it's going to be just more visual clarification and confirmation that this is the most powerful drum on earth. Because I've seen it a few times. I saw a little boy change in front of our eyes, just start smiling, and the nurses started crying. They said he doesn't connect it to anything. So I know the beat seat's powerful, but I really want to see how powerful. So this is going to be interesting for me on Sunday. So Evan, come back tonight. I'm going to tell you more about the beat seat. You'll see it with cover song night. I'll play any cover you want on the beat seat that I know. If not, I'll write you a song. Modoc, Roughstock, my brother. Princess Brown! Yes! Guys, when Princess Brown's here, it is the best show. Just don't forget that. We may see her over here on Clapper as well. Renee Woods, Sig Sauer. You guys know it's real when Sig's in the house. Over here on Clapper, I got Cody Murchison, Carlos Morales, and Chad Stewart. You guys are awesome. Thank you for kicking it with me. If you can, please head over. Look, I've just got the notification. 50 Cent outs Diddy should he fear retaliation or a shopping spree. You know, another comedy news story from the MarkinsPires show on YouTube, premiering in just 30 minutes. Yeah, 30 minutes. Let me give you that link one more time here on YouTube so you guys can join that. This is it. And then again, 5 o'clock, we get the Trump gold toilet, $6 million gold toilet, where I did a bunch of Trump impressions. A lot of fun. Are you gonna be the gold toilet there with Melania pooping in a gold toilet? You know, we're having so much fun. I'm bringing the voices back. I don't even care anymore, right? We're doing the Trump impression, we're doing the Biden impression. We're just having fun. This is the longest running daily variety show on earth. I will be back later for more.
You got to go away.
Oh, goodness. Joanne, can you do me a favor and keep the wheeze down? God almighty, Joanne! Anybody have any WD-40 for Joanne's wheeze? Could help. See you guys later. Have a great day. I'll see you in 30 minutes for the premiere. Just sent you the link. 50 Cent, outs P. Diddy. Which one's he getting? Retaliation? You know, someone's coming with a gun? Tupac Biggie style? Or is he getting the shopping?